In the middle of the 19th century, in an era when France could boast of cultural and scientific achievements, a terrible story rose in its shadow, which attracted the attention of the entire country: the story of Jeanne Weber, a female murderer whose fate and actions became the subject of numerous studies and disputes. Today we will tell you about this mysterious figure, her actions, the court process, as well as what happened at that time in the society in which she lived. Jeanne Weber was born in 1830 in a small town near Paris. She grew up in a poor family, where she faced difficulties and injustice from an early age. Her childhood was spent in circumstances that left her almost no chance for a normal life. Jeanne always dreamed of a better fate, but usually could not find her way. Already from her youth, she discovered that she has a special gift, the ability to manipulate people around her. This special skill played a decisive role in the further development of her story. Jeanne began her career as a criminal with petty theft. She used her charm and manner of communication to deceive those around her. However, over time, her crimes began to become more and more serious and cruel. Already by 1860, when she was 30 years old, she had killed several of her partners whom she considered to be interfering with her plans. At first, the murders appeared to be random, but over time it became apparent that they had a clear motivation. Jeanne didn't just want to profit materially from her victims, she wanted power and control. She began to deal with dark forces, gradually plunging into the world of murder and manipulation. Over time, Jeanne turned into a real serial killer. Her victims were not only men with whom she had relationships, but also women whom she considered competitors. There are known cases when Jeanne used poison to get rid of her victims, and she was noted for her special ingenuity in finding ways to avoid punishment. Her victims were not only lovers, but also women who had the courage to interfere with her plans. But somehow word of her crimes began to spread, and she was eventually arrested in 1866. The world saw a large trial in which Jeanne not only admitted her guilt, but also tried to justify her actions. She claimed that she acted in the name of love and affection. Her defense was directly related to how women were perceived in society at that time. This caused indignation, but at the same time sympathy for the woman who became a victim of circumstances. Jeanne Weber's trial lasted several months, protesting against injustice. From the words of Jeanne, one could hear a lot of thoughts about how society treats women, especially those who strive for independence. Her testimony was hotly debated, and many believed that she might have changed her actions if the circumstances had been different. Finally, in 1867, Jeanne Weber was found guilty of the murders. She was given a harsh sentence, life imprisonment. However, this case had a significant impact on society. People began to openly discuss issues that were previously considered taboo: violence against women, relations between the sexes, and the role of women in society. The trial of Jeanne Weber became the starting point for many discussions about the role of women in society. Attitudes towards women were changing. Initiatives that promoted equality and women's rights began to appear in society. Politicians began to more actively discuss the issue of reforming the legislation that regulated relations between men and women. Jeanne Weber left behind a complex legacy. Her actions not only caused fear, but also became the subject of study in the social sciences, psychology, and criminology. Jeanne's story is not only a story about a woman who killed, but also a story about the circumstances that led her to do it. She became a symbol of that part of society that does not obey patterns and norms, but tries to find its place in a world where love and hate are so close to each other. Yes, Jeanne Weber, even through crimes, managed to draw attention to the problems that existed in society and become an important marker in the development of social thought. Today, her story continues to spark debate and controversy, leaving many questions unanswered.